But whatever, we are live, guys. Not with my dreams. We are live with the Consolidation final. So the top 6 of the Portuguese tech scene are fighting out for 2 spots in the grand final. So who's accompanying Maui and Aragon, with the clear favorites in the grand final. Default and also Damage have already played against them today. They've played the winner bracket final and they have dropped down into this one. And we have Jufr and also Netic Zor, or just calling him Netic, who have qualified from the loser bracket. So from the loser bracket final, they have won that one. So good luck to the players. We're starting with Saudat, which is the first map of this loser bracket, or this consolidation final. The loser bracket is coming to an end and is bringing winner bracket and loser bracket together. WR is a 45.15 from Maui. Then we have a 0.35 from Aragon, which is second local. So that is actually a huge gap between the players. So good luck to them. And let's see who will claim a victory here on this map. Point limit is still 120. So we have increased the point limit for the consolidation final, for the winner bracket. And also for the grand final, there will also be a point limit of 120. So, there we go. It is Damage making that first mistake. The Default in the lead. Jufr and Netix not too far behind. Netic, I mean, not Netix. Netic not too far behind. Default gets himself that first 10-pointer though. Netic goes into second place. So Default has it here. Great performance, also 0.74. Good time. Netic with a 0.046, then Jufr on third, and Damage after that mistake on fourth place. There we go. So next round is coming up, round number 2. Hallo. Willst du mal Hallo sagen? Willst du mal Hallo sagen, Phil? Okay, my nephew is shy. He's shy. He doesn't want to say hello. But we are right now casting, and we are in round number 2. Netic and Jufr are leading, and then we have Default and Damage on P3 and 4. And Netic with a great amount of speed, also a good line there. Jufr goes for the inside approach, so it won't be enough to overtake him. Oh, Netic also going so close to the wall, but he's still. It is sufficient for him to survive. A 45.73. Was machst du da? Machst du Blödsinn? Du guckst nur zu? Okay, my nephew now. Guck mal, das Auto hier. Okay, next round is coming up. Round number 3. Netic is leading with 16 points. We have Damage only getting himself 3 points thus far. But now it was a Default who has made that mistake. So Damage, Jufr and Netic are on first, second and third. And Damage looks strong to take home his first 10 points here. Was ist denn los? Ich seh dich noch. My nephew is so cute, I can tell you that, guys. He's so cute. So Damage in first, Netic on second, and Jufr on third. Point 69 though. Nice. Wie bitte? Quatsch? Was mach ich? Was hast du da gemacht? Hast du gekleckert? Du hast Quatsch gemacht. Okay, last round on Saudat. So cast featuring my nephew here. Yeah, he probably doesn't understand anything because I'm speaking English. But it is what it is. Damage with a great line. Default making that mistake. So not the fastest line for him. And Netic also not doing it too well here. So Jufr is coming close to Damage, is still leading here. 0.2 of a gap between them. And yeah, what who will take that second place, or will Damage maybe make a mistake after a good comeback here, getting that first place in that prior round. He gets himself that next 10 points. Ich bin gut, ich spiele aber gar nicht. Ich kommentiere nur. Die anderen spielen hier, die kommen aus Portugal, die Spieler. Weißt du, wo Portugal ist? Ja. Ja. Okay, we have the next map. Bimos is the next map from one player that also has partaken in this tournament. It's Silky. Ja. Ich wechsle auch die Fenster hier gerade. Ja. Von Loki? Ja, wo Portugal ist, ne? Schwierig. Ein iberische Halbinsel, ja? So nennt man die. Nennt man die nicht so? Ich glaube schon. Das ist doch leer, das Eis. Warum gibst du mir das? Du Frechdachs. Kannst du bitte die Tür zumachen, Phil? Ja. Danke. Okay. Du sollst die Tür zumachen. Oh mein Gott, ey. Wait a sec. Okay. So into the first round we go on this map. I'm sorry about my nephews. So cute that he's actually coming back. Okay, so let's go into the next round here. We have Netic leading with 28 points, 26 points for Damage, and then we have Jufr with 18 points. So of course it's do or die, and Jufr makes that first mistake, but also Netic has made a mistake here. As you can see, Netic also has made that mistake. Damage and Default are leading, so the double D is leading the round. And let's take a look who will take it here. Into this part we go, very important to not touch there. And my nephew is ticking me, what is happening? Hallo.
Ich bin gewachsen.
Du bist gewachsen, ja? Ich auch. Aber Phil, ich muss jetzt hier kommentieren, also du kannst gerne zugucken, aber ich kann halt nicht so viel mit dir reden, weil das ist halt ein Turnier und da gucken gerade auch ein paar Leute zu. Deswegen geht das gerade leider nicht. Willst du auch mal kommentieren, was passiert? Nein? Bist du schüchtern?
Ja.
Du bist nicht schüchtern. So my nephew is saying that he's shy. Yeah? He's a shy guy. But let's go into the next round here. We have a close fight actually for that first place right now. Damage, Netic and Default are just 2 points apart from each other. And then there's Jufr, who's at 22 points. Yeah, and he also has made a mistake as well as Damage here. Taking some damage into this pole or into the outside wall he goes. So he makes that mistake. We have Default and Netic leading the round though. So Default with a better landing here as well. So he extends his lead to 0.1 of a second. 0.1 of a second between a Default and Netic here. And also a great approach here for him. 0.2 of a lead. Great stuff from Default. I think this could be another great time from him. And he makes it here. Default on first. Survives the ending. 0.71. Then we have 0.94 from Netic. Jufr on third. And Damage on P number 4. Man, great round here. And Default is going into the lead actually. So a little bit of a swap. Netic stays on second. Damage drops from first to third. And then we have Jufr, who's still on that last position with 26 points. So one day, you know, I already tried, or I already let my nephew play Trackmania, but he actually, yeah, he was too hectic in that one, and he actually finished some tracks. But he will not be the next Gwen. I'm sorry, guys. But I think one day he will have fun with this game, for sure. Okay, let's go into the next round. Damage leading, 0.13 of a gap, so great stuff for him now. I mean, after Default winning that prior round, it's now Damage in the lead. Default on second, and we have Jufr on third. but definitely not a decided round yet. Default can maybe snipe damage in the ending. Is it enough? Yes! No! It is not enough for Default to snipe it. Even though damage has clipped the ending, but a 52 flat is not enough for him. Damage on first, Jufr on third, and then we have Netic on a P number 4. So yeah, Jufr really needs to get himself on the scoreboard here, getting either first or second place, else it won't be enough for him to make it into the next round. Okay, Jufr has made another mistake. That is not good for him. That is certainly not good. And with that, he is so far behind. Default, Damage, and Netic are in the mix, but only 0.1 of a second. So that is not too little for them. Default extending his lead. Again, a great line for him. Then we see Damage on second place. And Netic just not too far behind. But Default again with a banger of a time. Another 6x or 7x from him. Making a 0.67 from Default. Claiming 10 points. And with that, solidifying his first place. And goes up to 56 points. Damage on second. Then we have Netic on third. And Jufr on last. So the gaps are just extending or just rising between the players. Next round though. Next round is coming up. Or next map rather. We have Pronto from Enisado, right? You have to love that map name. Pronto from Enisado. 46.96 the WR here from Maui. We also see Default with a top 3 time here. 47.18. So good luck to them. Good luck to the players here. But the question is who will take it? Who will extend his lead and who will actually like lose the momentum here? It could be Netic really losing a lot of time. And a lot of yeah, how you say that? He could just lose it here. Let's say it like that. My god, man. I'm just, like, out of words today. But, whatever. Default and Damage, first and second. Jufr on third. And then we have Netic, who has made that early mistake. So Netic really crumbling under the pressure here, which is not good. Because it's, of course, round that really matters for him. And Default and Jufr, first, second here. Going into that last part of the track. Only couple of more turns to go. This right-hander really important to hold your speed and don't touch. It is Jufr making that mistake, so Default is leading and extends his lead to 0.4 of a second. Damage on a second, Jufr on third, and then we have Netic on that last place. So Netic needs to make something happen here in order to stay alive, rather, because it is not good for him. Because he was, for me, one of the clear favorites going into this match. And now he's just gradually losing those points. 10 points away from P number 2. Okay, Default also here with a very awkward line. You can see that really there. It is not good or executed well from him, but of course he's leading. But the others are now coming dangerously closer with that. Damage leading, Netic also in the mix. So let's follow him for the last part of the track. Not looking too well for Netic to take it, but Jufr making that mistake. So Netic eventually gets himself second place. So not too bad here for the TRT driver with a 47.61. So also not the worst time that we have seen on this map. Jufr only with 3 points in this round. So 6 versus 3 points. There's a huge difference actually. And yeah, Jufr losing gradual amount of points, but also Netic 14 points away from damage and also from default, make it 17 points there. Okay, we have default and damage leading again, so both players from the winner bracket final are really dominating this match. Jufr and also Netic cannot match the pace, which is unfortunate though, but maybe the next map will suit them a bit better. Damage goes for a very inside line, coming up closer, but he had the like earlier ending, but of course not the best amount of speed. So default on first, damage on second, Jufr on third, and then we have Netic on fourth, and also 0.45 is definitely not a bad time to say the least. So 80 points for default here. Great job thus far. So last round on Pronto, yeah. And now really it's important for Netic or for Jufr to just get yourself onto that first place or second place to make something happen. It is damage already with that early mistake here, 1.2 seconds behind. Then we have default on first, Jufr on a second, and Netic on a P number 3, but only 0.2 of a second is tearing those players apart. So it's not too much though. And also Netic here with a great line, accumulating a lot of speed, coming dangerously close, and also default here with a mistake, clipping it there. And Netic is leading the round. Jufr also on P2, so they will come closer eventually. And also Netic here with a good ending. Even though Jufr was coming dangerously closer, it's a 0.68 for Netic. Jufr on second, default on third, and damage on P number 4. So yeah, that was good for them. 66 points now for Netic. And we have Jufr up to 50 points and still default leading with 84 points. So plus 4 points for him this round. Ciao. Ciao, Danny. Okay, my nephew is gone. Was just a small visit, but he's a great nephew. He's a very like, how you say that? Very friendly, curious person. He always strives to know more. He's asking a lot of questions, and I mean he's yeah, almost 5 years old. So definitely a great attitude he's going, or he has gotten there from my sister, of course, who is the mother of my nephew. Who would have thought? Yeah, this makes sense. So this is a map where a player can really run away with some points, but also important now for Netic and Jufr to get themselves those points on Pseudo from Anisado. So I think this one is my favorite map because of the ending. The ending is very nice. And a 50.19 is the time that we're looking at, which is the WR. Okay, so into the first round we go. Netic with a great start. We have default on second, Jufr on third, and damage actually overtaking Jufr here. So actually not a very decided round already. We have no one really having a huge lead or no one making a mistake. Default, however, now, just when I say that, the player who was leading the pack, making that first mistake in this round, and also damage 1 second behind. So Netic, just the ending is left. And Jufr can also get himself some good points. So Netic has it here. Jufr on second, Default on third, and Damage on P number 4. But yeah, the players are coming closer together, as you can see. 76 points now all of a sudden for Netic. So he is only 3 points away from second place. So 2 rather bad rounds for Damage were enough for Netic to come like dangerously closer after it looked very, very poorly for him. Hello to Sapster or Seepster. Hello, hello. Anyone else in the chat who's just lurking? Nice that you're all here. We have the Portuguese Tech Cup, which is the consolidation final right now. So the top 6, top 2 players will qualify to the grand final, where they will accompany Aragon and also Maui into that. So who will be that? Will it be Default and Damage who are we're dropping down from the winner bracket final? Or will it be Jufr or Netic, who also played very, very well in the loser bracket final? But right now, Default and Damage have it here, but Damage with a mistake. So Jufr can overtake him here. Default on first with a great time of 50.61. Netic actually gets third. Damage on fourth, and that's the direct battle we are focusing on right now. Damage versus Netic. It is 4 versus 3 points. Even though Netic made a mistake, he's coming 1 point closer towards his direct opponent. So 82 versus 80 points. Okay, Default with that mistake, so no 10-pointer goes to him. But what is for certain is that a 10-pointer goes to Portugal, right? Oh man, I'll just stop that joke. Oh man. Damage and Netic on first and second. And Jufr on third. So Netic now, that's the direct battle we are focusing on right now. If either of those players gets first, he's then in second place. Netic with a great line, overtaking Damage here for that part. Also here, way much more speed accumulated though, but he actually mysteriously lost some speed there. I thought he had it, but Damage stays ahead here, 0.74. Then we have 0.83 for Netic. Jufr on third and Default on P4. But yeah, Netic only with 6 points here, so not too much to catch up to Damage. So I think that's the last round on this map, right? I think it is. So let's go ahead. Default, Netic, and also Damage in the mix. So very important again to win this round for all of those players. The 10-pointer is up for grabs for all the players. Damage with a good amount of speed, coming a bit closer though. But is it enough to overtake them? Netic with a great line, but didn't get the best angle for this part. Who's getting first place? Damage with the best amount of speed here. Stays ahead though and had the better line. But man, what a round. 300s and 400s out of Default and Netic. And Netic gets third with a 0.67. What a round. Jesus Christ. That was Damage round to win, and he did it. He did it. So 107, 102 points, and then we have 90 and 69 points for Jufr. So Jufr really falling behind, but only 21 points. With a good map, he can make it happen. But still 33 points between second and fourth is a lot. Netic now needs to win a lot of rounds in a row. We have Default 107 points in first. So he looks to be the strongest of claiming finals mode already on this map. So we have one more round warm-up on Sodat. And this could be the decider of this consolidation final. This could be the decider. So good warm-up here, 0.76 and a 0.91 or 0.791. So good warm-up from Default and Netic. Hopefully they can also transfer it into the live rounds. Very close round though, only Netic falling behind to last place, 0.4 away. So he didn't really match the pace that he was setting in the warm-up. So that's what we call and so-called warm-up Andy. So he finds himself 1 second behind, but also Default has made a mistake. So that's actually very good for all the players here, because damage with that can go into the lead even. And he gets first, Jufr on second, Netic on third even. And then Default gets only 3 points. So now damage, after like plenty of good rounds, he is now leading and is up to 112 points. And now looks very good for damage and Default again, because Netic only with 4 points in this round, in that prior round. And now he is more than 10 points, 16 points to be certain, to be exact here, behind. So first place for damage or Default would be enough to claim finalist mode. It's important for both players, Netic and Jufr, to just take home this round here. Jufr with a good line over this part. Also Netic in the lead. Default with a better approach over this part. Has more speed into this last left-hander we go. And then there's this long right-hander drift that you start very early. And you cannot hold your gear. You have to drop into 4th gear. But who's getting the most amount of speed? Netic into the lead. Default also doing it very well, but it's not enough here. But a great round between the players, and Netic wins a very important round and goes up to 104 points. Then we have Jufr only with 3rd place, even though he drives a sub 46. Man, those are times that are really fast. Yeah, those times are really, really fast. But of course, Default and damage are coming dangerously closer to the finalist mode. But it is all now in the hands from Netic. Yeah, if Netic wins this round, he also needs, or he only needs a 2nd place, and we could have a double final situation coming into the last round of this track. This could well happen. Oh no, this is round number 3, right? So then we're gonna go to the next map. Okay, I see. The damage and Default on 1st and 2nd. Round number 3 it is. Netic with a good amount of speed. He needs a 2nd place to maybe claim finalist mode in the next round, but he has a good amount of speed, but it won't be enough to overtake either damage or Default in this part. A 0.68 from Default, which is a great time. And now we have a double final situation between Default and damage, and who will be the first player who's accompanying Aragon and also Maui in the grand final, or will they get denied? That is the question. Double final situation between them. For that 3rd spot in the grand final of the Portuguese Tech Cup. Jufr and Netic with a great start though. Default is also not too far behind. Damage has made that first mistake, but now it's Netic who has to deny Default the victory. Default not getting the airtime there and has a better approach over this part. So this is all not over till it's over here. As you can see, only 1 car length between them. Netic has to stay ahead though. Also a good amount of speed accumulated for him, so he will deny Default the victory. And we're gonna go into the next map with no winner just yet. Netic denying Default the victory. So 118 points for Netic, and he still has to finish 1 round. But what is for certain is that he will at least have 1 finalist attempt where he can make it. He has 1 shot. Maybe even 2 if he denies both players on Bimos. Bimos will be the decider. Jufr can of course win 3 or 4 rounds in a row. But I highly doubt that something like this will happen. Jufr has made a lot of mistakes throughout this match. He didn't play bad. Of course, he has to take those risks. He has 86 points. He played outstandingly well, but he's missing on those victories. And I think default damage, and also we have Netic, who are playing out of their minds. They're playing really, really good. So good luck to the players. 20 seconds of warm-up. And this could be, or this is the decider map. So double final situation, and it could be 3 finalists. Eventually. Okay, so Netic has to win, of course, or Jufr. But damage and default with a great start into the round we go. Oh, it is Netic going so close to the wall, almost making that mistake. Default and damage are leading, but Netic is lurking in the shadows here and overtakes the first one. Damage is his first victim. Now we have this part here. Very important to get yourself as much speed as possible, and also jump too much, or like very far to the left, or like not too far to the right, because then you just travel less distance. But right now it's default leading the round. Netic on second, and this will be all in the ending here. It is Netic getting airtime and making almost that mistake, so default just has to survive the ending, and he will do that. Default is accompanying Maui and also Aragon into the grand final, and now we have a double final situation between Damage and Netic for the last spot. Jufr is at 90 points, so he needs 3 victories. And then he can also make it maybe on that last round then, if of course he will make it. So, I mean, the last map switch could be. So Netic into the lead, Jufr on a second, and then we have Damage, who has he has to win this one. He was the first finalist together with default, and now Netic is taking also damage here with that mistake. That is not looking too good for him, as he is more than half a second behind. Jufr goes for that safe approach, and Netic can just save it here. This would be great. This would be a fairy tale for him if he would make it into the grand final. Only one more jump into the finish is remaining for the TRT player, and Netic is our last player in the grand final. Netic is knocking out Jufr and Damage here. What a great performance from Netic, even though it was Damage playing really well, but it wasn't enough for him. So GG's to the players, commiserations to Jufr and to Damage.